And I know it starts to feel like you become isolated from everybody because nobody gets it. Nobody gets my pain. Nobody gets my trauma. Believe me, millions of us get it. Millions of us get it. You just have to seek them out. And if you're watching this video, then there you go. You found us. Back. Hello everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to the show. My name is Kira and you're watching Psychopath Exposure. You know, one of the hardest things about surviving narcissistic abuse, one of the hardest things about being entangled with a malignant predator with a cluster B personality disorder is how, unless you've been through this type of psychological abuse, unless you've been through this nightmare yourself, you won't understand or believe the person that's telling you their story, because it just doesn't make sense. Especially when you're dealing with a very charming psychopath, a very manipulative to the point where they can gaslight the world, to the point where if you say anything bad about that person, you will be hunted down. That's what it feels like. You're married to a narcissistic predator and you're going through all sorts of abuse, torture, domestic violence, gaslighting. You know the deal. You've been watching these videos long enough. You know what it is. But then you try to tell people about it. You try to explain to your friends or other family members why it is that you've become such a vegetable. And they can't even fathom what you're going through. They won't believe you, because a lot of these stories sound crazy, let me tell you. They make you crazy, don't they? But they just have no concept of what narcissistic abuse is, because it seems to be all in our head, depending on how you explain the story, of course. But somebody that has met your partner and has seen how charming perhaps they are and how kind they are and how they give back to society and they give to charity and they're part of this event and they're part of that and everybody likes them. But you know what? Most people are so distracted that they cannot recognize when somebody's being phony. They cannot recognize the things that you and I can see now, because now we can see. We were once blind. But after going through an experience with a psychopath narcissist and surviving it and living long enough to tell the tale, you develop a new set of skills where you can spot gaslighting a mile away. You can tell when someone's just full of shit. You can tell the little nuances that separate them from a non-cluster B disorder to the different level tiers of narcissism that we talk about and cover in this channel. But most people don't see that. Most people don't recognize that. So it gets very frustrating trying to explain your point. It gets very frustrating explaining to other people. I mean, I remember when I would tell my friends at the beginning, guess what, bro? Remember what's her name? Dude, she turned out to be a psychopath. And I would say it with such passion and such excitement. Like I thought they were gonna be like, no way! Oh my God! But they would look at me like if I was insane. Because to most people, a psychopath is a serial killer, something like that, a Dexter. So when you're telling them that your girlfriend is a psychopath, and you look like a nutcase yourself when you're telling them, this is the response that you get is patronizing. It's like, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Oh, Lord, a psychopath? Oh my, really? Oh, that sounds bad. Like, they can't even fake it because they want to just laugh in your face because they don't understand this shit. It happened to me so many times. And the interesting part of it is when some of those very same people came back to me years later and told me the same thing happened to them, and that now they believed me. Now they believed me. It might happen to you. It might happen to you. You can tell those people to come check out the Psychopath Exposure show if they want to get a chuckle. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I wanted to read a comment real quick that John G4959 left in regards to this topic. He goes, really great video explaining what happened to you. What struck me mostly was how everyone that knew me and my girlfriend could not fathom what I was relating to them. Some friends would listen and just were nice enough to be supportive, but had zero idea and knowledge of what hell another person can put you through. Most thought I was being too sensitive and told me to suck it up or ignore her behavior. But they only see her public persona. Behind closed doors, no one sees that part. It's completely foreign and non-relatable. I ended up crawling into a shell, like your friend. That was funny. Funny how? My demeanor was depressed and sullen. There's just no light left. So yeah, glad I found this video. If anything, I can 100% relate it to the topic. I know there's a grammar issue there. I don't have answers, but I will say this. At some point, your mental survival depends on being there for yourself. You have to find that part of you that reminds you of who and what you were. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to that part of you that reminds you of who you what and were. What? Oh, I see what I did. I fucked up and I read the same line again. See, I got my own karma. Be kind to yourself and realize it's not your fault and not your responsibility to change someone. Find your peace and move forward if you can. Thank you. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. It's your responsibility to get yourself out of this. No one's gonna come and save you. Nobody believes you, remember that. So you're kind of, the odds are stacked up against you right now. You have your abusive partner that has gaslighted you long enough for you to think that what they say is the way reality really is, as opposed to your set of two eyes, your instinct, your perspective, your gut. They can gaslight you long enough to where you do not believe your own feelings and your own thoughts. So you become conditioned to asking for their point of view. You become conditioned to going and following their trends and their lead, even though they're leading you into a lava pit. It sucks when nobody believes what you've gone through because they haven't gone through it themselves. This is not the common breakup that everybody in life experiences. This is not just cheating, which is pretty bad and should be a deal breaker forever. Oh, this is something more. This is something more. This comes with, sadly, a life sentence of trauma and PTSD if not properly dealt with. Be careful not to obsess in trying to explain to your friends and to everybody on the internet what you went through, because you're going to end up looking like a fool. Some of these things you got to just suck them up and speak to only those that have been through it, because those are the only ones that understand. Those are the only ones that can lead you back into the light. You can't talk to the people that haven't gone through this shit and expect that they're gonna have your answers, because how can they have the answer to something that they haven't solved, studied, experienced? And I know it starts to feel like you become isolated from everybody because nobody gets it. Nobody gets my pain. Nobody gets my trauma. Believe me, millions of us get it. Millions of us get it. You just have to seek them out. And if you're watching this video, then there you go. You found us. You found us. And now you have your answers. What else are you looking for? This is it. This is why. This is why you're feeling the way you're feeling. This is why your relationship turned to shit. If everything that's covered in this channel resonates with you, then you have your answers. So, thanks for sending that in. When you said that you crawled into a shell, ooh, I remember that. I remember that. It felt safe, right? It felt safe to crawl into your shell, and yet it couldn't have felt any more unsafer, because you feel so vulnerable and you're walking on eggshells and you're anxious all the time. You know that there's doom just around the corner, so you hide under the covers. You stay in bed all day. You can't act like your normal true self anymore. And so the narcissist eats you up and then chews you up and then spits you out, because they don't no longer need you anymore, because you're just a vegetable and they've sucked you dry of all your nutrients. So they leave you there to rot. And in those conditions, you turn to your friends and family and you tell them, oh, my ex is a psychopath narcissist. And they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So it feels like they're abandoning you too. That's why it's so hard. When you go through some shit like this, you realize this is one of the hardest things you will ever experience. But let me tell you, if you get through it, and you come out of it on the other side, the person that you become is far greater than you ever were or you ever dreamed you could be. So the journey out of hell is worth it. Trust me. So thanks for sending that in, guys. I appreciate your comments and your support. Keep sending in your experiences and your stories, and I'll cover them on the channel. And if you want to work directly with me, I have a coaching program where we work privately one-on-one over Zoom, so we can do it right wherever you are, in your car, in your den, wherever you feel most comfortable. We get on a Zoom call and we work through this shit together, so we can get you out of this situation, get you into the right mindset that you need to be, to realign all the wiring that the narcissist disassembled and scrambled, and put those things back together stronger than before. I've got a link below in the description if you would like more details on that. If not, drop a like on the video and share. Maybe not with your friends that won't get it, or maybe they need to see a video like this so they can be like, oh wow, there's more crazy people like you out there blaming their exes for their problems. I don't know. Do what you want. But I will see you in the next video. Hope you have an awesome day. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. Be good. See you next time. Peace out.